Welcome to another edition of Northern Heat. My name is Bob Lennon, president of Thermalwood Canada and host of the show today. And our special guest, Zoe Arseneau. Zoe, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Not bad. So Zoe, let's talk a little bit about your story because you've lived away. You didn't really grow up here, but you did for a little bit, and but you're also an entrepreneur. You're involved in a couple of businesses. So tell us a little bit about that.
For sure. I kind of grew up living in different big cities. So, Montreal. I was born in Montreal. We lived in a couple different places in BC. And then we moved to Toronto. And then when I was 14, sort of like midway through grade 9, we moved to Bathurst because my whole family's here. And so, I have memories of coming here in summers and visiting my grandparents and
Culture shock.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, grade 9 and out of the big city where everything is and moved to Bathurst.
Yeah. It was something. Yeah.
But you left Bathurst, went to school in Toronto, ended up working there, and then decided to leave the big city and come back.
Yeah.
So what attracted you?
To be honest, it was kind of a whirlwind of like it wasn't really planned. The pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And I was living in a 300 square foot apartment, and my dad was like, "Do you want me to come get you?" And I said, "Yes, please." And I had been thinking about moving east for a long time. But in my head it was, maybe the bigger cities like Halifax, Fredericton. And then, I moved here, start of the pandemic, and that's when I sort of started realizing how much potential there really was here. And the things that I always thought weren't possible, like opening up a store like this, were, and there's nowhere else that I could have done it that would have been possible.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your store because you got some neat things in here when you walk around.
Yeah. It's called Mercado General. It's on Main Street across from Captain's Cabin. We sort of made an effort to bring in products that were, made by Canadian artisans or, handcrafted, etc. But also, Canadian companies that, sometimes they might outsource the manufacturing. So in the very least, all of our products have a sort of Canadian connection. We also tried to bring in as many BIPOC makers and artisans as we could, so Black, Indigenous, and people of color.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to bring in some diversity, which is really important to us. And that's Mercado.
So that's demonstrating some of your values that you've got, and bringing those in and tying that into your business, which is great. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing too is that you do a little bit of consulting work too, and in marketing and branding. So what's that all about?
Yeah, that's actually my main gig. So I like to say that Mercado is my side gig, and my main gig is design. I worked for an ad agency, a couple of ad agencies in Toronto. Up until September, I was working remotely for an ad agency in Toronto. And then, I started getting some projects around here. I had been working with Four Rivers for, rebranding their brewery. And, I realized that there was a need for something like this around here, and that more people value good quality design than I originally thought. And that was sort of my push to go off on my own and start my own little design studio.
So again, that ties back to the beginning of the story, right? About the opportunities that are here.
Absolutely.
A lot of people look at it and say, what are you going to do? It's a small town. There's not a whole pile of stuff. And here you are. You started and opened up your own store. But in addition to that, you're also able to go get work outside by working remotely. A lot of things through COVID and the pandemic allowed that to happen, but still, it's a possibility for anybody to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I like this idea about your design work and your marketing work and the branding stuff because I thought a bit about this over the weekend before this interview, and I've got a bunch of ideas. I'm going to hire you.
Amazing. Okay? Love
because
to hear it.
I think there's a couple of things, and one of them is thinking about Northern Heat, right? And it's all about, promoting the area, talking about what people do. And but we've never really captured that in the logo and how we
Mhm.
could put that stuff together. So you
Absolutely.
and I need to talk about on the branding side of that.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah. And the other thing too, I think that is worthwhile recognizing is that I see the trophy, we put it out here, the top 20 under 40, which is a new initiative that has been put out by Dockyard. It's
Mhm.
something that happens across Canada where we're recognizing young people under 40 years old that are entrepreneurs and doing things. And you won, you're one of the first cohorts that came out of this group this year. So
Yeah.
congratulations,
Thank you. Thank you.
because again, doing great stuff. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for again for opening up this store on Main Street, because Main Street, as we've been talking to a lot of people around here, is it's starting to revitalize. You know,
Absolutely. There's so much potential downtown.
we have restaurants, we've got microbreweries, we've got bars. There's a new store opening across the way,
Yeah.
and those are people from I believe from outside. They're
Yeah,
not
from
even from here,
France. Yeah.
from France.
Yeah. It's really exciting seeing um, sort of like the downtown core coming to life. I think there's so much potential to for some really cool things to
Yeah,
happen. So
you didn't grow up in Bathurst, but
no,
I remember being here where this street was wall to wall people on Friday night.
I
Yeah.
heard the stories.
So it'd be great to and it's starting to come back, which
Yeah.
is great. So really appreciate the time you took this morning to be part of this show and to tell us your story. And congratulations and good luck with everything that you got going for you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
There we are, another edition of Northern Heat this week, where you come to hear the stories that haven't been discovered yet.